sturdiest earthly materials would be unable to endure such relentless heat for long. Coupled with this intense temperature is an atmospheric pressure approximately 92 times greater than what we experience at sea level here on Earth. To place this in context, standing on the surface of Venus is akin to being hostile nature holds profound implications for science, exploration, and our understanding of planetary systems across the universe. One of the most compelling mysteries of Venus lies in its potential geological activity. While its surface is ancient in many places, marked by impact craters that speak to billions of years of history, there is mounting evidence that Venus is far from a geologically dead world. Radar mapping from missions such as NASA's Magellan and ESA's Venus Express has revealed features that suggest the planet may still be experiencing volcanic eruptions. Certain regions show signs of relatively young lava flows. Their surface is smooth and unweathered compared to the older, fractured plains. Thermal anomalies detected in specific areas suggest the presence of hotspots, indicative of ongoing or recent magma activity beneath the surface. Understanding Venus's geology is crucial, not just for planetary science, but for grasping the conditions necessary to sustain tectonic activity and, by extension, habitability on rocky worlds. Unlike Earth, which has a dynamic system of plate tectonics that recycles crustal material and regulates surface temperatures, Venus appears to lack this mechanism. Instead, its lithosphere is thought to be a single rigid shell. When internal heat builds up to a critical point, the planet may undergo episodes of catastrophic resurfacing, where vast quantities of magma are released, covering the surface in a geological instant on the timescale of planetary evolution. This process, if confirmed, would represent an entirely different mode of planetary heat regulation, one that could help us better interpret exoplanets with similar conditions. Turning our gaze upward, the atmosphere of Venus presents an equally fascinating and perplexing realm of study. While the surface